Okay, so fourth period video. In this video, we'll do every third one, starting with number 2. So 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. And then when we get to the end, I will happily take questions over any of the other ones. So number 2. Given the triangle on the right, which of the following is true? I don't like these because you got to label the triangle and then erase it and label it again. If A equals 12 and B equals 3 square root of 2, then cotangent of B, so that's adjacent over opposite from B, so adjacent is 12, opposite of B is 3 root 2, so that becomes 4 over root 2, and if I fix that, it's not the same as 4 root 2, so number 1 is not right. Number 2, or statement 2, if C equals 3 and A equals the square root of 2, then secant goes with cosine, so hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse is 3. Adjacent to angle A, anyway, would be this side, which we don't know. B squared plus 2 equals 9. So B is the square root of 7. So yes, statement 2 would be true. And then lastly, if B equals the square root of 5 and C equals 4, where the square root 7 came from?
Yes.
B squared plus this side was square root of 2 squared equals 3 squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 9 minus 2 is 7. So B is the square root of 7. Back to statement 3. B is the square root of 5. C is 4. Cosecant is the flip of sine. So hypotenuse over opposite of B anyway. So this is 4 over square root of 5. So we fix it and number 3 is right. So that's kind of the lengthy problem there because you had to work 3 problems to get your answers, but 2 and 3 are the true statements. Number 5. Which of the following is not a coterminal angle or coterminal measure? By the way, I know you're used to seeing this on our test. You know which one's false, which one's not true. But I feel like more so than most tests, there's a lot of those which one is not true questions. So please be careful as you're working through those. Okay, coterminal means add or subtract 2 pi to get a coterminal, a same landing spot. So if I add 2 pi, if I add 10 pi over 5, that gets me to 3 pi over 5. So B is good. If I add 2 pi again, I get 13 pi over 5. So D is good. The others are negative, so let's subtract and head back the other direction. So if I subtract 10 pi over 5, I get negative 17. And if I subtract again, I've already passed negative 13, so A is not coterminal, so it is my answer. Number 8. Not on the test. I'm going to go ahead and do it, though, just to refresh your memory on things. What is the area of a sector? Okay, I do area of a sector as like pi r squared times the fraction of the area I'm using. So this would be 2 pi over 3 over 2 pi. That's how I think of it. I'm not memorizing a formula. It's just all of the area times the fraction of the circle. And actually, if I drew it out, the fraction of the circle is 1/3. But 2 pi over 3 over 2 pi is 1/3. So 1/3 times pi times 36, that would be 12 pi. It's not specifically tested on the test tomorrow. So area of a sector, length of an arc, not on the test. So what is that? 6, 7, 8, and 9. Number 11. Given that the point 8, negative 15, let's see, 8, negative 15, 8, negative 15 is on the terminal side of an angle in standard position. Again, that just means that it started here on the positive x-axis and rotated around there. Which of the following is true? Okay, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, or y over r. 8, 15, 17. And hypotenuse is always positive, radius is always positive, so don't have to worry about that. Sine is opposite. This isn't even close to right. Sine should be negative 15 seventeenths. Shouldn't be negative 8s at all. So then number 1's out. Number 2, cosine. That's adjacent over hypotenuse, or x over r. That would be 8 seventeenths. So that one's out. I'm rethinking, did I do this right? 8, negative 15. 8. Yes, that's right. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, or y over x. That would be negative 15 over 8. So that one's wrong as well. So none are true. Yeah. Annoying, frustrating, I don't know. Number 14, reference angles. Okay, remember reference angles is the angle to the nearest x-axis. Not y-axis, got to get to the x-axis. 7 pi over 9. Okay, that's almost pi. So that's over here in the second quadrant. And speaking of almost pi, how short of pi are we? We went 7 pi over 9. I'm 2 pi over 9 short. So that means I'm 2 pi over 9 away from the x-axis. So statement A is wrong. It should be 2 pi over 9. 13 over 8. Let's see. 13 over 8. That's more than pi. More than 1. In fact, it's a little more than 3/2. So it's a little bit into fourth quadrant. So this angle is 13 pi over 8. So how many more do I need to go to get to 2 pi? How many more 8ths do I need to get to 2 pi? 3. So I need to go 3 pi over 8 more. So I think this one is right. I'm going to keep going and check this to sort of verify. Reference angle for 17 pi over 6. Well, that's annoying. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to subtract 2 pi and get 5 pi over 6. And if you're not paying attention, you're like, aha, 5 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6. That's my answer. Not really. 5 pi over 6 is over here. So we're 1/6 away. So that reference angle should be pi over 6. And the last one, that's too big. I don't want to mess with that, so I will subtract 2 pi. Again, you can always add or subtract 2 pi and you'll land at the same spot. That's 3 pi over 5. 3 pi over 5. That's more than pi over 2. In fact, we're 2/5 shy, so that should be 2 pi over 5. So B was right. obviously kind of up to you and your test taking strategy if you want to test them all to sort of prove yourself right. If you want to do that, it might be wise to wait till the end to come back and do that. Make sure you got enough time. And so once you think you know the answer is B, write B, put a star next to it, and then if you have time later, come back and make sure that it's right. All right, 17. Last one for the video, and then I'll take whatever questions you have. If cosecant is 4/3 and lies in quadrant 2, let's see, cosecant goes with sine, so that means this is hypotenuse over opposite. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so I need my missing side here. That would be 3 squared plus a squared equals 4 squared. So square root of 7. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, or y over x. Whoops. Oh, I almost made a mistake. What's wrong with my picture? Maybe I would catch it later. I need that to be negative. So 3 over negative square root 7, which would be negative 3 root 7 over 7. That's not what that says, so statement 1, after all that work, is not true. Cosine is negative, sine is negative. What quadrant do I have to be in if cosine is negative and sine is negative? Got to be in the third quadrant. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And yeah, we could check and see a squared plus b squared does equal c squared. Then cotangent would be adjacent over opposite, or x over y. So negative root 2 over negative root 7. So it is positive. And if I fix it, I get root 14 over 7. So statement 2 is true. Lots of pieces there. And then lastly, cotangent's negative 1/3, which happens in the second and the fourth. Oh, but then it just tells me, put it in the second quadrant. Cotangent is x over y. So x over y, adjacent over opposite. How do I know which one is negative? Like cotangent is supposed to be negative. Which one of those values is negative? How do I know it's the 1 or the 3?
It tells you it's in quadrant 2.
It's in quadrant 2. The 1 is backwards, so that better be negative 1. A squared plus b squared is 10. So square root of 10 for the radius. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, or x over r. So negative root 10 over 10. So 2 and 3 are true. There's a lot of work on that problem. Okay, most of the rest we did yesterday. The others from 1 through 18 will be posted in other videos.